Hey guys, ZeroArmada here. Finally got the LMG build guide out. Sorry it took forever to get it out, but finally got it. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about like 4 guns I customized and kind of built myself. And kind of a disclaimer: this is more of a template than anything else. It's not like the rule of the land or what God says or whatever. I mean, this is pretty much what I feel are like the guns I would choose when I would be like using an LMG. So kind of just use it more of a base. Pretty much LMG, high output gun, a lot of bullets, geared for close range combat mostly. You really want to use it kind of in maps like Holodeck and Vertigo specifically. Slows you down a lot. It's got a lot of penalty and run speed, so it's a heavy gun. But for the most part, what I've been doing for these guns is I've been speccing them for low spread, low recoil. So it's pretty much making it a lot easier to handle, because from long range you can't handle these guns for squat typically. So you want to make it as easy as possible, because typically a short range kind of a combat with the LMG, you're gonna have pretty much no problem with it because you have so many bullets. Long range, you're gonna have to actually make your shots count. So having lower spread, lower recoil would really help out with that. So that's kind of the mindset I went when I was building these guns. So first gun, exclusively built for minimal spread. So pretty much the side to side, or not really side to side, but more of the angle the bullet comes out from the barrel is as condensed as possible. So you pretty much have as close to a straight line as you can get for this gun. I guess is the best way of putting it. When you're shooting up, your bullets aren't going to be moving from left to right as much as it would for other typical LMGs. I guess is the best way of saying it. So muzzle, got the Briar XS suppressor. Most of these muzzles are silencers for these LMGs. This one's the spread based muzzle. The recoil based muzzle is the NT4. But pretty much Briar XS suppressor, silencer. Barrel, got the Briar Leatherneck, and pretty much that's the consensus minimal spread barrel. Magazine, always go for quick reload magazine when you're using an LMG and you have the part. Pretty much because if you look here, 3.33 seconds reload speed. That's pretty much comparable to, kind of a heavy assault rifle or an assault rifle, I guess you can say. Assault rifle is about 2 seconds, but it's close enough. But if you look at this, 3.3 seconds for the quick reload magazine. If you actually have the default, 6.67 seconds. That's a huge disparity. So if you're running around, would you rather be vulnerable for 6 seconds or 3 seconds? I mean, pretty much, because when you're reloading, you're going to be screwed if someone comes after you. So having a lower gap of time when you're kind of vulnerable would definitely help out a lot. So that's kind of my reasoning for picking the quick reload magazine, because you have less time where you're kind of pretty much open to anyone killing you. So scope, OPRL Reflex 2 Holo scope. This is more preference. I'd recommend a close range scope or a reflex scope. Long range scopes don't really work with the LMG, typically because first off, they're geared for long range weapons, and second off, because when you have a higher zoom in, your recoil and your spread's magnified more. So pretty much the LMG already has high recoil, high spread to begin with. It's going to be magnified if you have a long range scope. So I definitely recommend you guys go for a close range scope. It's all preference though. Stock, Vulcanc ACP-3 collapsible. That's the spread stock pretty much. Weapon tag, we got the damage tag. So that's pretty much the first build. Like I said, spec'd for low spread. It's kind of a lower damage gun, but you have pretty much a pretty easy time of controlling the gun as a result. Second gun, this is I guess you can say it's the highest damage gun I have for this build. It's not really that high, but it's 69 damage compared to 61 from the first build. This is more of a low recoil gun, so this one's spec'd for low recoil. Like I said, the theme of these guns are mostly low recoil, low spread, making them as easy as possible to handle them, aside from close range combat, because medium range, long range is where you're going to typically be killed the most with an LMG. So you make yourself kind of as best prepared as possible, I guess you can say, for long range and medium range combat. So for this gun, ArmCom NT4, like I said, silencer for the recoil, or minimal recoil silencer. Barrel, got the Krane GX3 heavy, and then pretty much for this gun, barrels don't affect recoil at all, as you can see. So you can pretty much just go for the highest damage barrel, which is what I did. Magazine, quick reload magazine, like I said. Scope is preference. Stock, I got the ArmCom AC-10 Sharp, which is the minimal recoil stock. And weapon tag, I got the damage tag. So next gun, This one's kind of similar to the second build. It's got a little bit less initial spread as opposed to the higher initial spread that the second gun had. So pretty much this gun's going to be a lot easier to handle from the beginning because it has lower initial spread, but as you keep shooting it, it's going to bloom out more. So pretty much the longer you have this gun shooting, a little bit more harder it is to handle it. And kind of likewise, or kind of in contrast, this gun has a little bit higher initial spread, so it's going to be a little bit harder to handle in the beginning, but you have a little bit lower roof for your spread. So it's going to be, when you're shooting it and you're spraying, you're going to have a little bit easier time handling it compared to this gun. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's kind of mainly the biggest difference between the third gun and the second gun, but for the most part, they're pretty similar. So muzzle, we got the Briar XL Break 9. I wanted to have one gun without a muzzle, not a muzzle, but a silencer on it. So this is the non-silencer build, I guess, because I really don't like silencers. So kind of like to have both a gun with a silencer and a gun without a silencer. So I figured might as well, give you guys two options for that. So Briar XL Break 9 for the muzzle. Barrel, we got the ArmCom Elite X3, which is more of a, it's not the highest damage barrel, which is the GX3 Heavy, but it's the second tier, or the second highest damage barrel out there. Magazine, quick reload magazine. Scope is preference, like I said. Stock, you got the ArmCom AC-10 Sharp, which is more lower recoil stock, like I said. Weapon tag, you got the damage tag. So that's the third build. Last build is the level 15 and below build. So pretty much if you're below level 15, this is probably the build I'd recommend. This is kind of different than the other builds I kind of went over. This one's more for the people who like to be more mobile. So you have negative 0.3 run speed compared to the second highest run speed, or second lowest run speed I have on here is the negative 0.95. So that's a huge gap. The other two guns have negative 1 run speeds, both of them do. So pretty much it's a huge jump in run speed. So you get a little bit more mobility on this one. Lower scope in time as well. So 0.15 seconds. These two have about 0.3 seconds both. And then the first one has 0.2 seconds scope and time, which, I mean, 0.1 second doesn't sound like much, but you really want to give yourself an edge. You want to get the first strike or the preemptive strike, so lower scope and time still would really help out for reaction and, just getting the first shot in. So this is more, like I said, of a mobile build. Still prioritizes low recoil, low spread, but it's more geared for mobility first than going for the stats second, I guess is the best way of putting it. Muzzle, Briar XS suppressor. Barrel, you got the LR light. ArmCom quick reload magazine. So this one's level 23. I kind of put this in there because I would definitely recommend, even though it's level 15 and below build, I'd recommend you guys go for that. But there's really not much of an option. So it's either that if you can afford it, or if you're gonna buy it, or the default magazine. Scope, you got the OPRL Reflex 2 Holo scope. It's all preference. Stock, you got the V2 Folding CQC/B. Weapon tag is KB mod weapon tag, or accuracy weapon tag, I guess you can say. So this one's a spread weapon tag. And that's pretty much it for that gun and for this build guide. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Hopefully I'm going to get Road to God Mode episode 4 out to you guys this weekend. Just been busy, but I wanted to get this out first because I've been kind of dragging this on for a while. So that's the LMG build guide. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. And thanks for watching, guys.